Friday, August 9th, 2024. And yesterday, the big orange toddler had a press conference at Mar-a-Lago because he can't get his big fat ass out of Florida and on the campaign trail while his campaign is tanking in the polls. He's too busy rage tweeting and shitting himself over the fact that he's not running against Joe Biden anymore. And boy, is he mad about it. And if you want to, like, the equivalent of an adult temper tantrum, that press conference was it. Holy crap. Um, First of all, if you're going to call a press conference, right, one would think that you would have some sort of prepared remark, a specific thing that you wanted to talk about or say. And if there was, he was clearly mostly off script. It was 30 minutes of bloviating and rambling about and telling nothing but lies. Um, it was I couldn't watch the whole thing altogether because the sound of his voice drives me crazy, and just listening to and this like he can't this is out of control. He's lost all other ability to do any other kind of movement than this with his hands. It's insane. Um, and again on the whole insane thing, this whole bullshit Hannibal Lecter thing, that he can't tell the difference between seeking a political asylum as a refugee, right, as an immigrant, and an insane asylum. He doesn't know that there is more than one definition of the word asylum, and how it's put into context. So he grabs onto Hannibal Lecter because it's the only like um, forensic criminal that he can think of is not even a real person. So he just equates everyone coming over the border seeking asylum as people escaping insane asylums. So they're all Hannibal Lecter coming to eat our livers. He's so dumb. And then this whole ridiculous thing stuck on crowd size. And some reporter fed right into him. He had already gone on about how his crowds are huge, and his the crowds in the same real estate as Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. He had more people. No, he didn't. No, he did not. And there's photographic record that he did not. He's such a liar and an exaggerator. It's remarkable how anybody can sit there in that press room, like the sound of rolling eyes was hard enough. Um, but so the crowd size thing, he's going on. He's saying Kamala has 1,000, 1,500 people, and the press goes nuts. She had thousands of people in Philadelphia and in Detroit and in Wisconsin. In Atlanta, she filled a stadium bigger than more than he did. In Detroit, they were in the same freaking stadium on the same day, and the morning crowd was half the size of hers. And then she's got people who entertain at hers, like Bon Iver was at in Wisconsin, and the people are like, "Oh, people are just showing up for a free concert. They don't really care about her." Oh, they're dumb. But so this crowd size thing, he can't get over it, and he just keeps lying about how many people show up. That nobody gets bigger crowds than he does. Taylor Swift has something to say about that, I'm sure. Although not in Vienna, that was kind of terrifying. I mean, this whole thing, he's clearly terrified. And then somebody asked him, um, "Why aren't you out on the campaign trail?" And he said, "What a stupid question." Actually, no, it's a very logical question. Why aren't you? And he murmured something and stammered about the convention, the Democratic convention, which isn't for another 2 weeks. Like, are you staying off the campaign trail that long? In the meantime, she's hitting all the swing states, and he's going this week to Montana. Like, I guess you go where you know you can get. Well, who's going to? I don't know. Are there a lot of crowds in Montana? The whole thing is just ridiculous to me. And what used to be terrifying, I'm finding a little bit of peace and solace in being able to find it funny again. And finally, the media is they aren't to the extent that they should be, or they would be if it were Joe Biden doing this. But they're finally sort of clapping back a little bit and being like, "Well, no, these are the things that he said that were wrong, and this was just kind of a long-winded diatribe that didn't really have any substance to it." They're actually starting to criticize the things that he's saying now, at least the tiniest bit. Where's all the fervor over the old thing? Remember Joe Biden, who is 3 years older than Trump, was like just a massive error that he could possibly even be functioning at his advanced age. By the way, 81 is not that old. Um, and Trump's 78 and clearly in mental decline. Where's all the clamoring from the media about he may not be as as mentally quick as he used to be. Not that he was ever all that quick. Um, but he just gets stuck in these repeating patterns, and he just says the same things over and over again. He doesn't answer a single question. He just goes back to border, border, 20 million immigrants coming in a day. Like, he can't help himself. He just has to exaggerate. The actual numbers for the last few years haven't been great. He could use the actual numbers and not look like a moron, but he can't not look like a moron because he is a moron. Um, so at least we're moving a little bit in the right direction towards getting the media to be like in some way critical of him. But in a lot of ways, it's just like they're kind of like shrugging and rolling their eyes like, oh well, that's Trump. But no, that should not. Yes, that is Trump, but that should not be normalized. It shouldn't be like, yeah, well, he's just doing his thing. His thing is lying. Um, and where's the fucking policy? Where's one solution that he offered? I used to have this boss at a job who would be kind of detached from things, kind of let us do our thing. Was sort of fine as long as there were no problems. Then she decided to get involved for some reason, one reason or another, and then she'd just sort of rip everything kind of apart, and we'd have to do a whole rework and kind of start over and rejig the plans, only for her to ignore us again. um, and so we sort of learned what parts of her squawking to ignore. But I nicknamed her the seagull, because she'd be flying around, and then every once in a while she'd swoop in, shit all over us, and then fly away. To the point where sometimes when she would walk around and we knew she was kind of on a tear, somewhere in the office you would hear someone go caw, because she was moving about. But that's kind of what like Trump's press conference was. He just kind of swooped in, shit all over everything, and then swoops away. He doesn't actually have a solution to anything. He just wants to say a bunch of shitty things. Um, and he can't remember Tim Walz's name. He can barely remember Kamala Harris's name. He can't even remember that he's running against her because he's still going on about Biden. And he's attacking Hillary. Like, he can't even um, stick to a topic, dude. But anyway, that is, I feel like there's some relief coming with this sort of renewed energy, and then we have a younger candidate who sort of gets it and understands how to clap back. She did stop and talk to reporters. That's been one of the big complaints from the GOP yesterday outside of Detroit, and basically, I mean, she just sort of rock starred her way over there, took off her glasses, and goes, "What's up?" And what you got? I think she said, "What you got?" And people were asking her about all of his ramblings, and she's like, "I have long ago stopped even trying to figure out what he's trying to say." Um, but he did apparently agree to debates. Now, I don't know what was agreed to with ABC News. I don't know what is actually officially done, but he said during his press conference that they have 3 debates scheduled. The one on Fox that he asked for, and that she has said, "I'm not doing a debate. I'm not agreeing to any other debates until we have the one that was already agreed to on the 10th." So um, that one he's apparently going to do, the ABC debate on the 10th. And then he listed one later in the month. I don't know what that one is about. But he said that somehow NBC News was involved. I don't know where that came from. CBS, I know, had been trying to get a VP debate going, and he said that they've agreed to that. I think that's news to everybody. Like, I don't think they communicate these things. He just sort of says shit offhand, and then he'll renege on it later, because he's so untrustworthy. But as of right now, it seems that there's going to be a debate on the 10th, which I look forward to her cleaning his clock.